It is 7 o'clock on the East Coast. It is 4 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 9th of July in the year of our Lord 2023. Season 13, episode 35. 635 times you have been welcomed to the Clubhouse Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, and pop culture live everywhere right now. This is crazy. We're going to go through all of, like I said in our description, we're experimenting with some things this week, and we're going to talk about that towards the end of the show because you can already see there's like a logo up there-ish there. And there's my name, and it's crazy. We're fancy. Welcome. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast, and it's so good to be back. It is our season 13 season finale. Next week starts season 14, if you can believe it. On the other side of my screen, because I think it's that way. Yes, I got it right. That is, and a man whose shirt almost matches mine. He is Alex.
Well, it is great to be back on, but more importantly, feeling pretty hoity-toity with everything going on with, the name that is going the opposite direction, the show that happens to be right here. We're going to get used to our pointing. We'll never make good flight attendants.
Be incredibly confused.
How is that different from any other show?
Hey, Mike's in the chat. We have our first. We're going to put Mike on the screen. Watch this. Boom. There's Mike.
Live woot. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Mike? Good to see you. We actually have we are everywhere right now. We are on awesome. Our Facebook page. We're on our YouTube channel, and for the first time ever, we are on Twitch. If you can believe that, we're moving things. We're moving into the 21st century at some point. I don't know.
We're coming up in the world. Next stop, gutter.
And now that's Mike said, "Boom!" There he is again. Look at that. Boom. This is so cool.
It's a new toy.
We're going to look back at this in 6 months and go, we had no idea what we were doing. But we've been saying that
already. It doesn't take 6 months.
All right, let us jump right into sports talk. Simone Biles is coming back to gymnastics. Next month, she will be competing at the 2023 U.S. Classic. No word yet on whether she will be competing next year in Paris, but we'll see. But not Paris, Texas. Because they don't have Transformers in the barn over there. Maybe they do. I don't know. But excited to see one of the greatest of all time competing again. So,
very true. See. Very, very true. And with a name like Simone, aren't you required to go to Paris?
I don't know. Oh, it didn't work. No. That was for you.
I wasn't actually making a joke. I was being serious.
NASCAR actually races tonight. We have a night race, the Quaker State 400, available at Walmart. That's literally the name of it. Does that mean I have to go to Walmart to watch it?
Oh, no. God, no.
But it's on the USA. Let that sink in. I mean, America.
What is going on? What would they be on this competing tonight?
We're getting the Alex remix right now. He may have dropped out. So we're going to go through because Alex, we may have lost Alex. I'm not sure what's happening.
Interesting.
Oh, now we got him back.
I think we lost Rob. And
No, we lost you. You didn't lose us. I'm here, brother. Mike, say in the chat which one of us you actually see right now, because now I'm confused. Because I've got a full signal, looking good, feeling better. Alex is frozen on my screen and a little pixelated. Alex, okay, Mike can see me, but he can't. Alex is frozen on his side. And there goes Alex. Now Alex is gone. So we'll just wait for him to log back in. I know he's having some tech issues on his end. He said Alex's sound is gone. Alex should be back in just a second. We're using a brand new platform, and I think there may be some tech issues on his end. I see him now re-entering. We are adding him to the stream, and there he is.
Was that me?
It was you.
Okay.
Because verified it was you. So, but that's okay. We got everything's back now. We're good now. We're getting into the NASCAR because I didn't want to do the rankings until we got you back because otherwise it's just me talking.
Oh, when it comes to NASCAR, just roll with it.
If the playoffs started today, your odd men out would be Michael McDowell. Did you see that story about him this week?
McDowell or McDonald?
McDonald.
No, I did not.
I'm going to put that on the run sheet, so we'll talk to it when we get to music talk.
Okay.
And your other odd man out would be Daniel Suarez. You kill my father, prepare to die. So you're in 16th right now, but both of them are within 10 points of your number 16 guy in one Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is now 9 back on Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace has a little bit of a mountain to overcome because he is 31 points behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse Jr. also with a little bit of a problem to deal with. He's almost 50 points behind both Keselowski and Reddick. They are about 13 points behind Buescher. Buescher is 15 points behind Joey Logano. Logano 15 points back on the Stone. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, attorney at law, is 15 ahead of him, but 2 points behind Harvick. Harvick is 15 back on Denny Moons over my Hamlin. Oh, Moons over Miami would be really, really good right now. I don't know if I have a Denny's close to me.
Usually is.
I don't think I. Remember, you never plan to go to Denny's, you wind up at Denny's. We have an IHOP. I don't know if we have a Denny's. I have to look that up. And where are we? Okay, Hamlin is 22 behind Kyle Busch. Busch is 10 back on Christopher Ring My Bell, who is 3 back on Ross Don't You Dare Call Me Jessica Chastain. Cutting that lead in half is William Byron, who is now 9 back on Truex. Coming up in the NASCAR next week, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. The next 5 races, 7 out of the next 8. Most of the rest of this season is going to be on the USA. Little weird.
Interesting.
But next week we have the Crayon 301 at New Hampshire.
Because why not?
Oh, dude. The not the Crayola, it's the Crayon 301. And it's spelled like Crayola, so I don't know what is happening with this.
I feel like I need to look this one up.
That's just what it says, man. Getting into Major League Baseball standings because after the All-Star break starts tonight, right? Because I believe we have Sunday Night Baseball tonight.
I believe we do have games going on right. I know we have games going on right now. I don't know about a night game.
Because I think Atlanta's got the game tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Looking into that currently.
AL East, the Boston Red Sox. This division is getting even crazier because they are 9 games out of first place. There are 9 games that separate this entire division currently. They're a game back on the Yankees. The Yankees are a game back on Toronto. Now, Toronto 5 back on Baltimore. Baltimore now 2 back on Tampa Bay. Baltimore's won 5 in a row, as have the Red Sox. In the AL Central, the Kansas. Go ahead. No games tonight?
There is no Sunday Night Baseball.
Okay, fair enough.
The Braves played earlier today.
Okay. In the AL Central, the Kansas City Royals, they're terrible. They're 19.5 back. They are 11.5 back of the White Sox. The White Sox now 2.5 back of Detroit. Detroit now 5 back on Minnesota. Minnesota's now a half game back on Cleveland. Now, let us play America's second favorite game show. Actually, you want to do it with the AL Central or the AL West? I'm going to give you a choice.
Let's do it with the AL Central since that's what we're covering right now.
Okay. So, this favorite game show is, what is the game difference between the leader of the AL Central and the basement of the AL East?
Three games.
You are correct.
Oh,
the Boston Red
nice.
Sox are 48 and 43. Cleveland's fort is at 500, 45 apiece.
Nice.
which is insanity. Now, in the AL West, the Rangers, who lead this division, are only 4 games better than Boston.
Oh, wow. So circling back on NASCAR, the Crayon 301, sponsored by Crayon, is not a Crayon company. They are software experts.
They spelled the same way. In the AL West, the Oakland A's,
it's the word crayon. Why would it be spelled differently?
The Oakland A's are 27.5 games out. They are 19.5 back on Law. Law is a game back on Seattle. Seattle 4 back on Houston. And Houston now only 2 games back of Texas. And Law has lost 5 in a row. In the National League West, the Colorado Rockies, they are 18 back. They're 9.5 back of San Diego. San Diego now 6 back on San Francisco. San Francisco now 2.5 back on LA and Arizona, who are tied, but LA has the advantage in that particular race. They've won 4 straight. In the NL Central, the St. Louis Cardinals, they're pretty bad. They're 11.5 back. They're 3 back on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh now game and a half back on the Cubs. The Cubs 6 back on Milwaukee, and the Reds hold a 1-game lead in that particular division. And now in the only division that matters, the NL East, the Washington Nationals are 24.5 back at the break, sir. At the break.
That doesn't surprise me either.
They're 6 back on your Mets. The Mets they're starting to curve it around a little bit. Won 5 straight to start the month of July?
Well, today was the first loss in July.
Yeah, 6-4.
Nope, second loss. They lost yesterday too.
That's right. They lost 2 straight. You are 6.5 back of the Phillies. The Phillies now 3.5 back of the Marlins. The Marlins now 8.5 back on the Braves, who are 60-29, who set a record in the month of June. Thank you very much. The highest number of
you were going to go. I swear to God, I thought you were going to go, thank you.
Yeah, that's gimmick infringement. But
when has that stopped us?
Yeah, that's also fair. Mike thinks that Cleveland will tank in September. It just means we just have to watch a really weird edited version of Major League if that happens. But Atlanta set the new record of number of home runs in a month in the year of June, which it felt like that way. But in the month of June, this team, honestly, and I don't say this as a fan, I say this as a sports fan, this team is starting to scare me. If they can stay healthy, this team is firing on all cylinders on a level that is a little odd given what they just went through 2 years ago with the Miracle Run. Do you want to do your piece now, or do you want to do North America's favorite game show now?
Well, I was going to suggest in a pivot of somewhat, my segment saved is how many awards do you think at the halfway point I have Braves winning?
2.
No, you would be under.
I wanted to be under because I didn't want it to sound egotistical.
Well, hold on. Let me check my numbers. No, it's 2. No, it is actually 2, but I will leave it up to you how you want to lead, because I know that this one kind of puts you out a little bit. But if we want to do North America's favorite game show, I have an idea.
Let's do North America's favorite game show.
But I have an idea for that.
I know. I'm saying because that's the normal rhythm of things.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have this, we'll do that after.
But as Mike, being a dedicated viewer right now, do not look up the standings. Mike, I want you to follow along, and I want you to take the first guess in the chat. Set it up.
And it's time. So it is time for North America's favorite game show. What is the run differential for the Oakland Athletics? And we will wait for Mike to put his prediction in the chat. This one thing we love about this new platform, whether you're with us on Facebook, whether you're with us on YouTube, or whether you're with us on Twitch, we can see everything that comes in, which is pretty awesome. Very excited.
Now, for those of you with us for the first time, the run differential being the difference between the runs scored and the runs given up. So obviously we don't like to play favorites, So we look for the worst team possible. 16. Okay.
We actually have a tie for the highest in Major League Baseball.
Oh, really?
Your number one ranks in Major League Baseball are the Rangers and the Braves.
Yeah.
Oh, the puppy girls. The Rangers, actually, I'm going to hold off on that. All right, so Mike says 16. I'm going to go with minus 16 for Mike. Alex, what is your prediction?
I will say that Oakland is terrible, even though they had that good stretch. I'm going to say negative 98, knowing that I'm going to be under by at least some.
So Texas and Atlanta both are at plus 153.
Oh, wow.
Right behind them is Tampa Bay at plus 143, who, by the way, we won the series against this weekend. Now, the Oakland Athletics are currently 25-67. That is a 272 win percentage. As stated earlier,
I'm sorry. I want you to say that record again, but slower.
25-67.
So 42 games under 500.
If my public school math does me right, yes.
Okay, can I change my number to like 120?
Nope, you may not. Because you still wouldn't even be close.
Yeah,
they are 27 and a half games back. They are 12-32 at home. They are 13-35 on the road. And what have we said all season about Oakland? They are nothing if not consistent. They have lost 4 in a row. They are 4-6 in their last 10. So if you think about it, before they lose 4 in a row, they won 4 out of their last 6.
However,
they have a run differential of minus 247 at the break. At the break, sir. Minus 247. They have scored 326 runs. They have given up 573 runs at the break.
I have to ask the question that we had with the Orioles either last year or the year before. Has there ever been a team that's been negative 500 for a season?
I don't know that there has.
I'm afraid of that answer.
They're on pace for minus 494. But yet they're going to save the team. They're not moving to Vegas. They're going to save the team. No, you're not.
Yeah, they are.
Mike said, what planet is he on? He was going to say minus 80. You still wouldn't have been close, brother. Man,
okay.
This team is bad.
All time. Speaking of Cleveland being terrible because Ohio, the worst run differential ever was by the Cleveland Spiders in 1899, who were minus 723.
Woo! Did they even play 156 back then?
I don't know. I'm just amazed. 1899, I feel like they played 12 games and they lost by 70 in all of them. God.
So now it is time for the Alex's Halfway Awards.
So,
which I think
would you like to start with obscure?
All 4 major sports get this now.
The Halfway Awards?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Alex's Halfway Awards.
Oh, God.
I just wrote that just now.
Technically, you only said it, and I'm mad that I didn't say it first. But would you like to start with the more obscure manager of the year or the more obvious AL MVP?
This is your segment, sir. I'm going to let you structure it.
Well, I figure that it'll be easier to get maybe a little bit of a balance, but let's start with the obvious. The AL MVP is Shohei Ohtani, and it's only Shohei Ohtani. I mean, there is no way to go about it, but if I had to stack rank the top 3 right now, Wander Franco, who is backpacking the start of the Tampa Bay Rays offense, and so is Bo Bichette in Toronto. Neither of those guys have a chance unless Ohtani just stops playing, because Ohtani is the best player in baseball on offense and the best pitcher on defense. I mean, you don't get more valuable than that. Thoughts, Rob?
Can I go all guy sports on you here for a minute? Can you hear me?
I'm sorry?
Alex, cannot hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I don't know what you just said. Guy Sports?
I said, yeah, like guy sports questions kind of a thing. Is
I don't get that
Ohtani an
reference.
Angel next year?
No.
Sports talk stuff. Where does he go?
I know where I hope he goes. And I hope he goes to the Mets. But if I had to guess, I am thinking, and I'm not happy about this, there's a strong chance he winds up in Houston. There's a strong chance he winds up in Houston or a Yankee. He's definitely not going to the Twins. They learned their lesson with Carlos Correa. I'm responding to Mike at this point.
As the guy that has to deal with July 1st every year.
Yeah. Well, I will say the top 4 possibilities are the Dodgers, Seattle, Houston, and the Yankees, because I refuse to put the Mets on the list. Paying people isn't working this year, so I think there's going to be some course correction for at least a season.
I don't want him to go to the Dodgers because I don't want to listen to Bill Plaschke talk about it every day on Around the Horn. That's all I'm saying.
And now that you've said that out loud, you've pretty much guaranteed it.
But yes, Shohei Ohtani, I mean, if you debate it, I hate to use this phrase, but you're wrong. I mean, the guy is the most complete player that we have seen, at least in this generation, if not multiples.
I will say he is the most complete player of all time. Because the other part, and the stat that I saw, but I don't remember the specifics on, was Ohtani at one point was leading the league with being the first one at 30 home runs and among the league leaders in strikeouts. Do you realize in every season that they've tried to compare him to Babe Ruth, he has never been among the top 30 in strikeouts as a pitcher while hitting 30 home runs? It's just never happened. He never did it at the same time. He had the power and he pitched, but he focused on one or the other. Ohtani's doing both at the same time. It is insane.
As a wise man once said, you ain't got to like it, but you better learn to love it because it's the best thing going today.
Yup. All right. Now for Rob's happy dance. NL MVP.
Acuna?
It's Ronald Acuna. Right now, it is Ronald Acuna because he is just lighting the world on fire from the top of the order. Now, in the National League, there's only been 2 leadoff hitters to win MVP, and neither of them are putting up the stats that Acuna is right now.
That kid is living his best life, hands down, right now.
Now, my 2 and 3 on it are also a distant 2 and 3, but Luis Arraez, who is backpacking, trying to hit 400 for the Fish, and Corbin Carroll, who is just lighting the world on fire in Arizona. Your trends are going to be Atlanta Braves and Arizona Diamondbacks. Buckle up. So,
I'm here for it.
AL Cy Young. Right now, Framber Valdez is outpitching everybody. And one of the newer stats that I tend to lean really heavily into is called the super quality start. Now, a quality start being the 5 innings, less than 3 runs simplifier. The super quality start is the same thing, but for 7 innings. Framber Valdez has done that 7 times this season. Would you like to guess what the next highest is of super quality starts?
0.
No. There are actually people who have done it, but the next highest is 3.
Wow.
Yeah, so he has more than doubled the rest of the league in super quality starts. And coming right behind him, McClanahan with Tampa Bay is doing a great job leading that staff, especially with all of the injuries that have happened. He is pulling on the yoke that is dragging the Rays to a successful season. And then Kevin Gausman, who started horrible in his first few starts for Toronto, has been cruising and crushing it since then. So it's Valdez and nobody else as far as a vote goes, but those 2 are going to give him a run in the second half if there's any faltering from Valdez.
But the thing with the Rays is they had such a fantastic start that as long as they can just maintain, they don't have to set the world on fire. They've just got to maintain, and they're going to keep at least in the top, if not top 2 of that division, in my opinion, going into the postseason. Because
the crazy thing about it is
baseball.
The crazy thing about it is McClanahan was supposed to be like their 4th starter, and he's giving them ace work. Like every 5th day, they know, oh, Shane O'Mac is starting. We're good. Yes, they do call him that.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry.
Now, for the NL Cy Young, more of Rob's joy, Spencer Strider.
Yes, sir.
Leading in strikeouts, leading in
Yes,
wins.
sir.
He's just doing work. Now, there's an argument to be had for Zach Gallen, who is also putting up a lot of quality starts for Arizona on a team that's not supposed to win. But he is tied with Spencer Strider for wins and earning it. Interestingly enough, my third one in that scope is Marcus Stroman, who I shouldn't like, but I respect the person. And he's been doing great work for Chicago on a team that isn't winning games. That's some serious yeoman's work. So before we get to a real argument segment, AL Rookie of the Year, Josh Young. Josh Young is doing amazing things for the Rangers right now. He shouldn't be producing this well as a rookie, but it's what's putting them up so many runs because the kid's doing everything. Right behind him, Hunter Brown for the Astros, also dealing with voids in the rotation. He has been picking up the slack and then some. And then you have Gunnar Henderson, because I just wanted to say the name Gunnar Henderson. It is the most Viking name in the major leagues, but he is an all-star, or at least should be, for Baltimore. So, NL Rookie of the Year, I think you and I are going to disagree on, sir.
Go ahead.
Because it is not Ellie De La Cruz. It is Corbin Carroll, who I have in my NL MVP standings, because that kid is doing everything without the highlights of Ellie De La Cruz. Now, if EDLC keeps putting on shows like he is, he's going to get a lot of votes.
Yesterday, you stole 3 bases yesterday
In an inning. Yeah.
Wow, that's a controversial pick.
But you know what? Corbin Carroll's been doing it all season, and he's leading a team. Ellie De La Cruz is doing amazing work, and I love watching him play, but Corbin Carroll's having the more complete season.
I think it's your anti-Ohio bias.
No, it actually isn't in this one, or he wouldn't be on the list. But allow me to give you this idea. Okay. Corbin Carroll is going to hit more than 30 home runs and may have more than 50 steals and more than 120 RBIs as a rookie while hitting 300. That's a pretty stacked stat line.
Yeah, but we're also talking about on pace. And I do want to.
True.
I do have a bone of contention with something you just said, because
go ahead.
The more I think about this, the more I realize it's not RBIs. It's runs batted in, not runs batted ins. So I've heard people just calling it RBI as the plural. Mm-hmm. And the more I hear it, the more I'm like, actually, it's kind of right.
Yeah. The RSBI. Okay. Are you happy now?
Yes.
It's the RSBI.
The RSBI.
I also want to clarify that a distant third for National League Rookie of the Year, Yuri Perez, pitching for the Marlins. There's a reason that they are getting a lot of work, and it's not just Perez hitting single after single. They are getting some really good pitching, and Yuri Perez, as a rookie, is showing out.
I'm trying not to get excited about the Marlins because I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, you're 2 to 3 years off.
Well, and even if I am, they're going to trade away the whole team after they win it anyway, because that's what they do. I love my Marlins. Don't get me
Miggy Cabrera.
But it's just hard for me to get excited about this team the way it's run. And, again, people have asked, what happens when they play the Braves? The Braves, I automatically root for because they have seniority, period. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for the Braves, I probably wouldn't even be into baseball given where I grew up.
Fair.
But, excuse me, goodness mercy. I love my Marlins. I can't get excited. I'm always excited about the Braves, regardless, because they're Braves. But ask me in September how I feel about my Marlins, because that's the
right time.
Where, the Braves will always be in the conversation.
Yeah,
more often than not.
Wrapping up our half-season awards, our ahas, as you will. Manager of the Year. There's 2, maybe 3 that could really be in contention, and I don't care about the AL, NL aspect. It's who's doing the best job. Number 1 for me, Torey Lovullo, who is leading a Diamondbacks team that everybody picked for the basement. And
has for a very long time.
Yes.
David Bell. Long time.
Yeah. And for my journalistic integrity and a non-bias against Ohio, David Bell leading the Reds right now.
Nobody expected anything out of Cincinnati.
Nope. But you're going to see a pattern out of all of my managers of the year, because the third one on my list is Bruce Bochy. All three teams expected to be cellar dwellers. All three teams leading their divisions.
Who also has the best name? Bruce Bochy. You feel like you have to say it that way.
See, but for me, it's like I need the theme to The Godfather in the background saying, Torre Lavulo.
If Torre Lavulo had come to me today in friendship. Sorry.
No. See what I mean, though?
You know how much
I got that one more. David Bell, not fun.
Yeah. David Bell's a baseball name.
David Bell is a boring baseball name, but so was every member of the Bell family.
Now coming to the plate, David Bell. That's what you got.
Yeah. Well, and when you think about it, it's like, oh, was his brother more interesting? No, his name was Jay.
Jay Bell.
And I want to say their dad was Bob Bell. It's like, get a dictionary or a thesaurus, find something.
We also have the Major League Baseball draft going on right now, and it looks like
that's started at 6, I believe.
Wyatt Langford from the University of Florida has been drafted by the Rangers.
Was that the first pick?
It's 4th.
Well, I don't know. I'm not tracking it.
It was the 4th pick. I just get the notifications.
Because I was wondering how many LSU players got drafted in the first 10.
That I know that at least the top player was from LSU. I didn't see the name. Of the four major sports in this country, the Major League Baseball draft means the least to me.
Oh, it absolutely does. Because so much talent comes from other outlets, international pools, and these guys don't go directly to the majors.
I was saying,
it just doesn't happen.
2 to 3 years if you're lucky. So, I mean, I wish them all the best. I want them all to make the show, but it's like,
I want to say Mike Morgan was the last one to go draft to major leagues, and that was in 1982 or something.
It's baseball, hockey, basketball, NFL. That's my rankings, because it's in the importance of when you'll see
scenes.
Sounds like a winter
Paul
sport
Skeens
guy.
was the first pick.
Okay. All right. Anything else from your from the AHA?
Nope. The AHAs are done, unless you have any notes that you want to talk about on that.
I agree with you. I'm right here for you. I said this was going to be your segment, and it was, and you did a fantastic job, sir. Let's get into the pop culture half of things in television talk. So I'm playing a little injured right now. Been a little under the weather all weekend. Ended up sleeping in this morning. Get up on my morning constitutional, and I have an Echo Show in my bathroom. And I have to be careful because I have another one sitting right here, and I don't want this one to pick up what I'm saying. And so I'm just sitting there, and
Can we also clarify real quick that you don't have the Echo Show in the bathroom for you doing shows? There is no Rob OnlyFans?
No, not that I'm aware of anyway. Although, talk to me during music talk, because I might be going viral and not know it. I'm just saying. So I look over my left shoulder, and if you don't have an Echo Show, it's got a little screen that's about this big, and it scrolls through things, and it puts your pictures in there and does the whole thing, right? And only does it show a picture. If the picture doesn't have a headline on it, it's from your camera roll. Are you with me so far? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. I look over and I'm like, is that Don? And why is there a headline on a picture of Don who's out on assignment this week? I was very confused. I'm still kind of groggy. And it says something about mugshots. So now I'm extremely confused because Faith is in the picture too. So I grab my phone and I Google the headline. And when I Google the headline, there they are in this, because YouTube has pictures for whatever your video is. And they're in the picture. And I'm like, what is happening right now? So I click the link, And apparently this morning on the Today Show, they do a thing called mugshot. So if you have a Today Show mug and you take a picture of yourself with it, you take the chance that they might put you on the show. So this morning on the Today Show, there's Don and Faith at Niagara Falls with their Today Show mugs in the lower center of the screen, and the headline says keeping cool during from the heat at Niagara Falls. So he gets the double whammy of being the title of the segment and being in the segment. Go look it up. It's on YouTube. I was very confused for a moment of my life. And so I had to text Alex and Don and go, what is happening right now? So and apparently it happened on the Today Show when they were there on their vacation too. So very confused by all of this. I'm just saying. Okay. What are you doing? Are you pulling up the video?
I'm trying to pull up the page. No, I'm trying to pull up the page just so that there was the image to say the sharing on StreamYard is going to take some getting used to.
Yes. But you have the ability to do it, right?
Because that's also an ad. So we're not doing that.
Okay, fair enough.
But I was trying to just pull up the Today Show's page to show the image.
So weird. The actor strike deadline is now Wednesday. They are preparing to strike. I am seeing all over social media a number of actors that are putting the signs together. The writer's strike is still happening. The directors have a verbal agreement, but I don't know that anything is in place. This is going to get weirder before it gets any better, kids. So put your seatbelt on. And again, I said this on our last
episode. In case you were wondering why CBS is running a bunch of...
Go ahead and finish.
In case you were wondering why CBS is running a bunch of Mission Impossible behind the scenes and reality TV, you can start to see the effects of these strikes.
And again, we talked about this in our last episode. If you'll go to YouTube or if you go to your favorite podcast app and look for Fat Man Beyond, Kevin Smith and Mark Bernard did a very good in-depth episode helping you understand, helping the layperson understand what the strike is, why the strike is important, and what the details are. It's about 2.5 hours of them talking about it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Go check that out. Apple TV has canceled High Desert after one season, and Monster Factory, which I have queued up to watch. That's their behind the scenes of an indie wrestling school. They've canceled both of those. I'm interested in Silo. I haven't started that yet.
We have watched the trailer a couple of times. It looks really, really good.
So, and BET making headlines this week. Kevin Hart's Heartbeat Productions is teaming up with them to revive Comic View, which was very, very popular in the 90s. Their stand-up comedy show.
Nice.
Let's see. Food Network has renewed Summer Baking Championship for season 2. Can I just tell you, sometimes I get into a Triple D rabbit hole and I'll be watching Food Network for 3, 4, 5 hours on it, because when they do like a marathon of the Triple D,
that doesn't surprise me at all.
I love that show. Yeah. And there's no reason for me to love that show, especially right now, because I can't look at anything and, you know. Netflix has canceled Snowflake Mountain after one season. So if you had that going for you, sorry about that. Season 4 of Sex
Education.
When
we have cancellations and I've never heard of the shows.
Well, season 4 of Sex Education will be its final. It's going to start September 21st. That's a very popular show on the Netflix. Greta Gerwig is going to have a really good month of July, I think. She is directing the upcoming Barbie movie. It was also announced this week she has been tapped to direct 2 Narnia films as for a revival of the Narnia series for Netflix. It's not
Did
two
they
things
say
I
if
would
it's going to be a remake or a continuation?
It's a reboot. They're rebooting.
It's a reboot of... Okay. Mm-hmm. I know somebody in this house will want to know that.
Not something that I'm normally a fan of. The Narnia films, and not something I would put with her, but you know, why not? Mike's let's just get up there. I just want to do this. Boom. Mike said anyone who watched Snowflake Mountain, they said would be discontinued. All right, fair enough.
Thank you, Mike.
No, and he also, I just love this feature. I'm going to be doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, big news while we were gone. Season 5, they have announced Linda Hamilton joining the cast of season 5 of Stranger Things. Also announced this past week, there will be a stage show in London at the Phoenix Theater that will be a prequel to Stranger Things about 1959 Hawkins, Indiana, with the arrival of the Creel family. It's going to tell that story a little bit more in depth than season 4 did. So I'm hoping
that'll be cool.
You gotta do something because we got a ways to wait.
Yeah, we do.
Only TV on DVD and Blu-ray this week. If you don't have Peacock and you want to watch Night of Champions, not sure why you would. It will be available for you on Tuesday.
Man.
So, music headlines this week. The Rihanna has broken the Spotify record as the first female artist with 10 songs that have at least 1 billion streams apiece. She is a force in nature, that one. I enjoy her fine work.
No, she's very talented. It's just one of those, like, if you told me that there was going to be an artist that did that, I don't know that she would have been my first pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. But you're looking at a target audience, I think, that's more in that modern age. Like, you would think like Madonna or Janet Jackson, but that's not as current.
Apparently that quote from Mike was from the producer of Snowflake Mountain.
Wow.
Yeah. That answers the age-old question of, do they know they're working on something that's crap when they're doing it? Anybody who looks at a script and sees Thunder Levin's name, they know it's crap.
Carly Rae Jepsen has announced her next album.
Okay.
It will be called The Loveliest Time. I only know that one song, but I'm going to tell you that one song got more hooks than a tackle box.
I co-sign everything you just said.
And did I ever tell you the first time I ever heard that song?
Maybe.
It was in the time where people were doing lip sync videos, and it was the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders. And I'm like, I don't know what this song is, but I kind of dig it.
Yeah, it's a good song. I mean,
did
Shallow
you see
is a kiddie pool, but it's a good song.
That's all you got. Got the hook. That's all you need.
That's modern music.
Did you see who is supporting Eagles on their long goodbye tour?
No.
Your opening act is one Steely Dan. How about that, brother?
Mike, is this segmenting into your AARP card?
Mike, the cheerleaders were lip syncing, but no, that is friend of the show. Heather Rowe is very excited about this. That is definitely a show that, I'm not sure I would mortgage at a house that I don't own, but if somebody gave me tickets to that show, I am there. Hands down.
See, Rob, what you're supposed to respond to Mike on that one is, yes, they can sing better than the Vikings cheerleaders.
Ooh. Dun, 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 dun. So there's a video that went viral this week. And I saw it, and then it just flooded my feed. Mike, that was him.
I'm now fighting with the comments. I love it.
An 11-year-old girl's dad is taking her to a concert.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't tell her what it is. It's a surprise. Turns out he is taking her to the current Doobie Brothers tour, which on paper you go, what 11-year-old?
I have questions.
Right. Apparently, she is a huge fan of the Michael McDonald. Huge.
So this was the thing.
Yes. Yeah. So her dad's filming her in the car, and then they get into the arena. She realizes they're going to see Michael McDonald. She's very, very excited. At the end of the video, she walks up to the rail because where they're sitting is where the Doobie Brothers are coming off stage. And she yells to Michael McDonald, and he waves at her, and she loses her mind. Apparently, tomorrow on one of the morning shows, whether it's Today or Good Morning America or CBS This Morning, they are going to bring him into studio and bring her into the studio so they can meet. This is one of the most adorable videos you will see this week. And once I saw it, it flooded my feed. There was like 7 different posts of it just yesterday alone as I was scrolling through my social media. But this is a great story. And you guys know I'm a big fan of Michael McDonald myself and the Doobie Brothers. And I think this is going to be awesome. And this will go viral too. I have no doubt. But yeah, look this story up. In a time where there's so much crap out there, this is a great story to check out. The 11-year-old girl whose name currently escapes me, getting to meet Michael McDonald, I believe tomorrow is when they're doing that.
Her
But
name
she did
is
get to go.
Paisley Gardner.
All right, shout out Paisley. But yeah, go check out
Paisley
the story.
Gardner of Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, Iowa checking in. What's up? I was born in Iowa. And so Friday night, let's talk about that a little bit. I went to a concert. Phil and Shannon, dear friends of mine, bought me a ticket to this concert for my birthday, which was last Sunday. It was at the Toyota Music Center, which is a great venue. If you have not been to a Toyota Music Factory, I'm sorry, go check out a concert there. It's an amazing venue. It's very acoustically sound. It's one of those amphitheaters, and what they did is they closed off the lawn. So they curtained off so everybody was inside, so that way they could have air conditioning and stuff. It was called, if I wasn't wearing this shirt that Alex and Sean got me for my birthday, I would be wearing that shirt. But it's called the I Love the 90s Tour. And so there were 6 acts on the card. So Phil and I sat down, very good seats. We were audience left, good view of the stage. They had a DJ that was mixing videos. It was really, really kind of neat. And so Phil and I sat down and we listed out all the artists, what order they were going to be in. We only had 2 that we missed that were backwards. So we were pretty good at that. Up first, and it started right at 7:30. 7:30 downbeat, here we go. So I was very impressed with that. And there wasn't a lot of time between them. There was maybe 10 minutes between each artist because they had 6 of them to get through. And it started at 7:30. So first up was Marvin Young, also known as Young MC, who did a great job. I loved his second album more than the first. But he actually referenced when he did, was it I Come Off, I think is what it was called, was on the Baby Driver soundtrack. So he actually mentioned that, which I thought was kind of cool. He did a great job. And then after him was one Tone Loc, who is 58 years old, kids. And
somehow that seems younger than I expected.
They did mention him being in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, but Phil and I were hoping they would mention a different film, which they did not.
Good.
At one point, he actually did about half of Gin
Which
and
film,
Juice.
Rob?
It's called The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. But he did about half of Gin and Juice, which was pretty awesome because the whole place was doing the song, and it was awesome. And then after him, oh, geez. I got to look up the lineup again because I don't want to screw this up too bad. Oh, yes.
Well, I'll fill in on that one. So the fun fact with...
Go ahead.
We're having a weird timing issue, but with Paisley meeting Michael McDonald, it was on CBS Evening News. She didn't know he was there.
Oh, wow.
So
nice.
So there's even a level to it, and she busts out in tears when he comes out. So it is adorable to the nth degree.
So third up was a little unknown act called 2 Live Crew.
A little unknown.
Now,
act. How dare you, sir?
Phil and I thought they would be a little bit deeper in the card. But then we found out why. 95% of that 20 minutes was Marquee.
Mm-hmm.
Luther Campbell just kind of hung out. Like,
you mean Uncle Luke?
Yes. And they were both wearing shirts that had the cover of As Nasty as They Want to Be on it. But Marquee was wearing it over a Cowboys jersey.
And
decided to do a song about how great the Cowboys are, and then saying certain descriptive things about other teams. And Phil and I just shook our heads. It's like, no. Represent your section, son. Represent your section. And they did some album versions and some radio versions. It was a little weird. After that, taking the stage by storm was All for One. who did 3 hits and then this weird 90s medley, said they've been doing that tour every year since 2015. Then you get to your next to last act. He might not be internationally known, but he's known to rock a microphone. As Rob Bass blew that place up. And I'm not saying that just because I'm biased, because you know how much I love Rob Bass.
True.
That guy knows how to work a crowd, and he worked the crowd. And he had a t-shirt on that I want that says, "Never apologize for being dope." And I was like, yes, I agree with you, sir. But he did Joy and Pain. He did some old school call and answer stuff that was really, really good. And then your headliner was one Robert Van Winkle as Vanilla Ice took the stage. As he did ninja rap, some guy dressed as Michelangelo strolled out onto the stage. There was a guy that was one of his original dancers from the 90s that was there. And he did some of his newer stuff that I wasn't aware of. And I was like, you know what? I kind of dig this, like what he's doing. But after he did Ice Ice Baby, and this is what happened, and I swear to you as I'm sitting here, there was still, he was still on stage for like another 30 minutes. And so my guess here, allegedly, is maybe once Ice Ice Baby finished, maybe that's when the edible kicked in, because he just decided he probably had 60 people on stage with him at that point if he had nothing. That happened with Tone Loc and him, just brought people up on the stage, and here we went. Vanilla Ice decides, I'm just going to go DJ for the next 30 minutes. And he's just picking songs. Like, he's not beat mixing. He's just picking songs and letting people sing them. It was brilliant, and I enjoyed it, but there was a lot of me going, wait, what's happening right now? Because once he finished Ice Ice Baby, the exodus began. So there's a lot of people that missed a lot of stuff in that set. He had a live drummer, too, which was kind of cool. But overall, that's a really good show. So if the I Love the 90s tour comes to your town, and I bought a t-shirt that looks like the Yo MTV Raps logo, and it has all the cities on the back. Now, Vanilla Ice was selling a VIP experience that had a meet and greet, a picture. I think you got a hat and a t-shirt for $200 a pop.
Did you get to take a picture in his 5.0?
He did mention it. But I'll tell you what I thought was really funny when he did Ice Ice Baby, because as we know, he is not from Miami. He filmed that video here in Deep Ellum.
Yep.
They were showing the video while he was doing the song, and they were very, very careful that there was never a clean shot of him in the Hurricane sweatshirt the entire time. And I was like, I'll bet there's a reason for that.
Yup.
But it was a great show. I had a great time. I had no voice the next day. Now, earlier I said I may be going viral and don't know it, and here's why. So right before Vanilla Ice, this lady, it was me, Phil, Shannon, a young lady that Shannon works with, and then there were like 4 more seats before the aisle. A lady on the other side gets my attention and fist bumps me. And I'm like, thank you. Apparently, because I am very musically oriented, we all know that. Your post broke it into 2 posts.
Yep.
She was filming me rapping along with all the songs. So I don't know if it's gone viral.
Oh, please let that happen. Please let that happen.
Possible. It's very possible. If I did, somebody would cut me a check.
It's the tale of Brave Sir Rusev all over again.
Hey, I ain't scared. I know my hip hop, bro.
That's true.
And I knew every song that dude was playing. And he went into the crates a little bit, but it was a good show. I had a blast. If that's what you're into, and the I Love the 90s tour comes to your town, go, because it really is. a party. Like people were having a blast, and it was a great cross section of humanity, and it was just a lot of fun. And Vanilla Ice did have a Ninja Rap T-shirt you could buy.
That would have gotten me probably.
Music new releases this week.
We have one more headline.
Please do, sir.
Tracy Chapman. Did you see this headline?
I have seen that there is a cover. I have not heard the cover, but I've heard it's very good.
So she is the first woman of color to have a chart-topping country song due to the remake of Fast Car. And I just thought that was really cool.
Was it Luke Combs that did the cover?
Yes, I believe it is. Yes.
Okay. I've heard it's really, really good. I have not heard it.
But I just thought that was noteworthy and very, very cool.
It's a great song, too.
Yeah. Well, and if it teaches you anything in that scope, just remember what Johnny Cash said. Doesn't matter how somebody does it. Good song's a good song.
Yep. New releases on Friday. Gordon Lightfoot's Live at the Royal Albert Hall album is released. Kool and the Gang with a new album this week called People Just Want to Have Fun. Well, I think that's kind of
an accurate statement.
And Rita Ora with a brand new album called You and I. She's married to,
they are in a relationship. It is Taika Waititi.
That's right, the Taika Waititi.
Well, that's why I started smirking when you said you and I was like, and them.
Let's talk about box office numbers this week. Dropping out of the top 10, courtesy of our friends at Box Office Mojo. Dropping out of the top 10 this week, Asteroid City drops from 9 to 11. $2.23 million, 4 weeks, $24 million. The Flash drops from 8 to 12. That will be available to stream, I believe, next week on the Max. 2.2 million, maybe $105 million. So across that 9 digits.
Yeah.
And dropping from 10 to 14 this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, right at $1 million. 10 weeks, $357.6 million. Dropping from 6 to 10 this week, Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken.
Did you really have to say it that way?
Just because all I hear is Fred Garvin, male prostitute. Every time I hear that. 2.8 million, 2 weeks, just almost $12 million.
Okay.
The screening of that was when I was out of town at Greater Austin, so I missed it.
That was also one of those odd times on a Saturday morning for the kids.
Dropping from 7 to 9 this week, The Little Mermaid, $3.5 million. In 7 weeks, it's made $289 million. They're going to be okay. Transformers Rise of the Beasts drops from 5 to 8 this week, making $5 million. 5 weeks, $146.7 million for that film. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
I did too.
No Hard Feelings drops from 4 to 7, $5.25 million. 3 weeks, $40.4 million. Joyride debuts in 6th place this weekend. Not what they were hoping for in that one. They were hoping for $7 to $9 million. It made 5.9.
It deserves 10 times that.
I agree. It's a great film.
Yeah.
If you have any level of sensitivity, don't go.
No, not at all.
If you enjoy toilet humor, this is the movie.
If you can embrace the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse still in the top 5, dropped from the bronze to the 5th place this week. $8 million, 6 weeks, $358 million. It is flirting with 650 worldwide at this point. Elemental drops from 2 to 4 this week, $9.6 million. In 4 weeks, it's made just under $110 million. Sound of Freedom is the film everybody's talking about right now. This is a film about human trafficking that has a little bit of a faith base to it. It's this week. It started earlier in the week. So over the weekend, it made $18.2 million. Its total gross at this point is over $40 million. The friend of the show, Rachel Wimberly, has seen this film and speaks very highly of it. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny drops from the gold to the silver this week, another $26.5 million. In 2 weeks, $121.2 million. And winning the weekend, Insidious: The Red Door.
No!
$32.7 million, because those movies are, you can just put a budget on it, it'll make its budget back, because it is what it is. But for me,
it's the Blumhouse model.
We have Deadpool 3 news this week.
But before we get to that, Out of that
Yep.
top 10, Rob, how many reviews do we have somewhere?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 10. We did not do Insidious, Sound of Freedom, Elemental, or Ruby Gilman.
Oh, I thought Don went to Elemental.
No, he did not,
Okay.
because there was something going on that week that would have been a little bit tough for me to post the review.
That's fair.
On the,
but
on the
where
home
would
front.
those 6 be found?
At www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
That's our website.
There you go. Jennifer Garner is returning as Elektra for Deadpool 3.
This is on the list of things I wish didn't go public before the movie.
Yeah, but somebody has labeled it as Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, which in that case, why not?
Well, and for the record, that is an awesome series of comics. So
yeah, well, and there was also another. I'm not reporting on the other one yet because it is still rumor.
Mm-hmm.
But until it's verified, I'm not reporting on the other one.
Yeah, I saw that one as well.
And Christopher Nolan has said Oppenheimer has 0 CGI shots.
Yeah, that made me have a lot of questions. Mostly one big one of how.
I will tell you, I'm very, very excited. We talked on our last episode how there's only. Let me see if I get the numbers right on this because I don't want to screw this up. Oh, I don't have this on the run sheet from the last one. I thought I did. About the details.
The 70 millimeter.
Yeah, that there's only like
33
theaters that will be showing Oppenheimer in the 70 millimeter. We are actually going to be able to screen it in the 70 millimeter. Very exciting. Mike's asking how. It's Nolan. He loves practical effects.
And blowing things up.
Yes.
Not as much as Michael Bay, but...
And we also talked in our last episode, this is his first rated R film in 20 years, his first since Insomnia.
Yeah.
So...
that we had on the run sheet last time.
It's 11 miles long, 600 pounds is the 70 millimeter print for Oppenheimer. And it's a 3-hour film. We will be screening it week after. It's next week, next Tuesday. So we will definitely have those reviews up for you Thursday afternoon. That's what we do. We don't like to post before then because we want it to be fresh in your mind so that you're ready to go. Will there be a remotely reviewed? You don't know. With this new platform, we might be able to do that. You don't know.
We're just going to have a banner of whenever somebody has a meltdown.
Movies in the theater this week on Wednesday, which I'm still trying to figure out why this is a Wednesday release because it's not a holiday weekend. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Be aware going in. Be aware going in. This is Part 1. Another film that came out earlier this year. A lot of people freaked out, but I'm like, they told you this was a 2-parter for 6 months. You will have all 3 of our reviews in about 48 hours because all 3 of us have seen this. Mike, don't
go ahead.
Throw
that one up. Throw that one up.
Mike's reaction to this being a 2-parter. There it is. This is 2.5 hours long.
2:43 to be exact.
You saw it in the Dolby Cinema. Don and I saw it in the IMAX. So I'm going to be real. I have not read Alex's review yet. I know I have Don's already, and I know how I feel about it. I haven't put it in my rankings yet.
I have.
But I just haven't had the time. But that's coming out this Wednesday. There's a movie going into limited release. Actually, I'm going to pull that off the list because we are screening it in a couple of weeks. So it's not going to get a wide release this week. Also this week, a movie called The Flood.
Everything being sacrificed to Mission Impossible is...
daring jailbreak during a dangerous Louisiana hurricane is interrupted by a horde of large, hungry alligators. Nikki Whelan is in this. Luis Mandalore is in this. And the great Casper Van Dien is in this.
Now,
And you know that
you're biased. I'm allowed to say the great.
that guy gets a pass with me.
All the
When
way.
I met him last year at Giganticon, he gets a pass with me. So, also this week, a movie called The Miracle Club. I did not get a chance to screen this. This has Laura Linney and Kathy Bates in it, as well as Maggie Smith and Stephen Ray. There's just one dream for the women of Baligar to taste freedom, to win a pilgrimage to the sacred French town of Lourdes.
Lords.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I'm just clarifying.
No, you're good. You're good. Also, this next film I think you're going to be interested in. It's a documentary about hockey.
Oh.
It's called Black Ice. It's a look at the history of hockey and how it has embraced people of color, both past and present.
Nice.
So, and PK Subban's in this, of course, because he's one of the
he
greats.
has to be.
So I'm very interested in this documentary myself. There is also
what I would be very interested in that one would be more along the lines of the stories that Grant Fuhrer had as a mixed race gentleman who became arguably one of the best goalies of all time.
I'm right there with you. Also this week is The YouTube Effect, another documentary. Alex Winter of Bill and Ted presents a thoughtful, troubling look at YouTube from its humble origins that has gone to change how we experience the world. He was actually at a convention recently talking about this, and I wish I could have been there, but I was not. We also have fourth grade this week, which I don't know if this is the same one. It looks like it. When a brick of weed is found in a fourth grade classroom, the students' parents gather an emergency meeting full of accusations and intrigue. This was actually done a couple years ago.
Hard left turn after fourth grade.
Terry Baldwin and Mina Suavari. That's taken a make sure that's the same one that I read on my schedule. But this was 2021, so it may just be getting same one, getting a larger release.
Okay.
So, movies at home this week. We have Scream 6 getting its release this week. Here we go. Also, Sisu, which is one I've been very much looking forward to.
This looks insane in the best of ways.
Everybody I've talked to is like, this movie's great. You need to see it. Okay.
Did they say a platform that it was going to be on? Because I believe I saw a Netflix ad for it.
I believe it is. I believe you are correct. Book Club, The Next Chapter, which I have seen, very much enjoyed. You don't necessarily have to see the first one, but it would help you. This next one, if you see it at your own risk, because Beau is Afraid will be available to you this Tuesday. Let's see, what were my
I still feel like that one I need to see just to corroborate or debate your take. Gotta remember the sound effects.
And that's earned. Also this week, Knights of the Zodiac. This is one I was interested in theatrically. When a goddess of war reincarnates in the body of a young girl, street orphan Seiya discovers that he is destined to protect her and save the world, but only if he can face his own past and become a Knight of the Zodiac. Famke Janssen's in this.
She gets a pass, always.
It's the movie looks really cool. So, also this week, a documentary called Corsage. This is, give me 1 second, I'll pull this up for you. This is a fictional account. I thought it was a documentary. It's a fictional account of 1 year in the life of Empress Elizabeth of Austria. In Christmas Eve 1877, Elizabeth, once idolized for her beauty, turns 40 and is officially deemed an old woman. She starts trying to maintain her public image. I thought this was a documentary. Okay, I'm wrong. But I've heard very, very good things about this. And it's funny because Mike mentioned something in the chat earlier, and you're going to get it this week. Cocaine Shark available to you on DVD. And the Criterion Collection has 2 releases this week. After Hours, a very dark film, but very good. And The Watermelon Woman, which is a sequel to The Watermelon Man. If you know what those films are, that will be available to you on the Criterion Collection this week. Tech Talk real quickly. Actually, we're running ahead of schedule, which is great. Prime days are Tuesday and Wednesday. So get ready for Amazon to dominate your life. Coming up here in a little while. Did you see that? I mean, I ask you this knowing I already know the answer, because if the answer is no, I will be utterly shocked. Did you see the Sphere got lit up on July 4th in Vegas? Oh, did I lose him again? I may have lost Alex again. He looks like he's frozen.
Nope, I think I'm here.
I got you back now. I have you now.
Okay, I heard utterly shocked in very slow-mo and then nothing.
I would be utterly shocked if your answer to this is no. Did you see the 4th of July headlines of Sphere getting lit up for the first time in Vegas?
Multiple headlines, yeah.
Mike has a very fair question. How many accidents did that cause? I would be shocked if there wasn't at least one because it looked amazing. It looked absolutely incredible.
To clarify, there's no way to determine that caused the accidents. It is Vegas.
Yeah, that's also fair. But I thought it looked cool.
It did. But did you see the joke that they did on the test run?
The blue screen of death?
Yes. And then the basketball.
And its debut event will be in September. They have not yet said what that will be.
I am intrigued by some of the theories of what they're going to do with it and see how it would be projected out for concerts or different items. I'm going to... Do we have a date by chance? September what?
I have not heard any. All I've heard is September.
I will have to reach out to our boots on the ground in Vegas.
All right. You may see something if you use Microsoft Outlook. You may see something in your Outlook that asks you to test out the new Outlook. Do not do that. I have beta tested it a little while ago at work. I do not like it. It's not very intuitive. Unless they've made huge strides in the last 30 days, don't mess with it. It's not good. They're trying to make it look like Google Mail or Apple Mail, and it just does not work. Not a fan. Just saying.
I'm just trying to get over the fact that you called it Google Mail.
It's Gmail. It's G's for Google.
I understand that, but that's a very 50-year-old thing to say.
Because I am. Duh.
I got to take shots. I got 3 months before I feel it.
I will tell you 40 and 50 are completely different. 50. Well, let's get through this next thing and then we'll talk about that because we got a few minutes. Are you going to do Threads?
Oh, I thought that was a rhetorical question.
No, that's the question I'm asking.
I don't even know what this is. I'm already hitting 40.
This is the thing that's people are flocking to getting away from Twitter. It's actually an Instagram thing. I don't care. Like I don't care. Let all the dust settle on all this, and I'm. You know me. I don't do Snapchat. I don't do TikTok. Instagram is my limit, and there's just too much going on with this that I'm just like, why? Because it's just going to change again in a month anyway. Is it a separate app or is it built into Instagram? Is that what you're looking at?
Currently looking that up right now.
Okay.
If you couldn't tell by the pastiness flying at my face.
It is a separate Instagram app. You must have an Instagram account to sign up.
Yeah.
Your Threads account is tied to your Instagram account, and your handle or username will be the same for both. So it's not like I've got to sign up for anything. I've already got the handle I want.
I was thinking more for the shows, to be honest.
Well, but the shows will already have theirs because it's the same handle. So nobody can steal our handles.
Right. That was my concern, was not knowing that until 3 seconds ago.
Well, that's fair. I don't care. I don't care. Like if it'll just post 2 threads for me, then I'm good. I don't want to have to post on another flipping thing.
I am seeing something another interesting thing. So I'm wondering how much crossover there is that I may have just lost connectivity.
No, I've got
Am
you.
I still here?
Yeah, you had a little bit of a stutter, but I've got you.
A separate Threads a separate Threads not associated with Instagram that is allegedly trying to replace Slack.
I'm not a big
So
fan
I'm
of
wondering
Slack.
how much confusion is going to happen over which Threads.
But okay, so we got that covered. So I did turn 50 last week.
Mhm.
50 was the first time I woke up and I felt my age. I can't explain it. But I woke up last Sunday morning and I was just like, oh, I'm 50. And like the whole drive down to Cidercade for Summer Band 50. And first of all, let me just say before we go any further, thank you to everybody that reached out, whether it was on a Facebook post or a text or a phone call or people that came to Summer Band 50 or any combination therein. Thank you so much for coming out and wishing me well wishes. It really does mean the world to me, knowing that I have amazing people in my life. But the whole drive down to Cidercade, I just kept going, 50. This is weird. Like I've never felt that way before about an age. And like I've said for years, like I have the hashtag old man Rob. Like I get it. But this was the first time that I was really just like, this is weird. Like 20 was like, oh, I got to spend the next year knocking at the door waiting to get in. And 30, I was like, okay, the warranty's out. Okay. And then 40 was like, okay, the wheels have fallen off. Okay. But 50 is just like, whoa, bro. It's just it was the weirdest feeling. And maybe it was psychosomatic. I don't know. But it was just odd. But I had a great birthday. The number of people that came out, and my main thing for the party last week, or the gathering, because it wasn't a party. There's nothing organized about it because I didn't want that. My main thing was hearing the number of people that were just like, I've gotten to see people I haven't gotten to see in person in years. Like that brought me joy. And seeing, I had to say to multiple people, look, if there's somebody you don't know, you have to tell me, because the overlap of this group of people, it's fuzzy to me at this point, because I don't remember who's met who and how they connect and all those things. But we had a great time at Cidercade. Everybody that came out had a blast. I felt bad I couldn't spend enough time with everybody, but that's kind of the purpose of why we do it at a place like that, because everybody can go off and do their own thing. And Cidercade's an amazing place if you've never been there here in the Dallas area. There's two of them. There's also one in Fort Worth, and it's a barcade, and they've got all old school games, and they've got new stuff. They had the new Bond
stuff that made look old.
Yes, they had the new Bond pinball, which was a lot of fun. But it was just weird. Mike says all the checkups you got to do at 50 makes you feel in which direction you're headed. And I'm actually going to put this one up so everybody can see it, because I read it too fast. But I go to quarterly checkups with my doctor anyway, because I'm pre-diabetic. And they lowered the colonoscopy to 45, so I've already got that out of the way for the next 9 years. So I'm good there. But it's just odd. It's crazy. And then like you said, you've got 40 coming up in October. Yep. So are you going to be out of town for your birthday, or are you going to be back by then?
I don't know. Do I look like a guy with a plan?
You remind me of stuff that you've got more going on than I remember, and I got a pretty good memory. I just don't remember how everything lines up. So
there have been some rumblings about people coming here, me going there, or I don't know. I don't make the decisions in my own house.
Well, there are rumors now of, in the early parts of October, the Madre coming to visit. So those rumors are starting to swirl a little bit, which will be right during the state fair, which we're only a few weeks away from our show where we talk about the new state fair foods. They've announced the finalists.
Love that show.
Yeah, they've announced the finalists, but they haven't given the winners yet. We don't do that until after the winners. The concert lineup this year is a little suspect. But State Fair of Texas, always a great time. I'm going to actually try to go this year, especially if the Madre is going to be in town. Plus, we have the in-laws up here now. So maybe we'll just have a big group outing to the State Fair. Last time I wasn't there. Remember when Big Tex caught fire?
Yep.
It was that year, and they saw it in the rear view mirror as they were heading home. God. So, but we are so excited. Oh, we actually have to talk about this thing too. Well, we have about 10 more minutes in the show. We are currently using it's not an app, it's actually a web-based platform called StreamYard is who we are using for our new platforms for the shows. And we've done both shows on StreamYard this week, and it seems to be doing pretty well. Oh, to puppy girls. There's been some things that we're going to work on. There's some things that it can do that I'm not quite prepared for yet, but I'm very excited. And when we have Don back, we'll be able to have some different configurations on the screen. That'll be fun. We've got videos that we're going to be able to play and things of that nature. If you are looking to do any kind of streaming or a podcast, because the other thing is we found out after the last show, once the show ends, I can actually download the video and the audio separately. So when we get our RSS feed back up and running again, we'll be able to do that and not have to try to just record the show. It's already done for us, which I think is pretty awesome. I'm very impressed with StreamYard. I keep wanting to say Stream Deck. That's a piece of hardware. But StreamYard really does a great job at everything I've seen, and it's very affordable for what we're trying to do. It's a little bit more expensive than Zoom, but Zoom doesn't do a lot of the things either. So if you're looking to do something like this, I would recommend StreamYard. I heard about it when I was in Greater Austin when I did a podcasting panel with friend of the show, Kevin Garcia. He told me about it, thought it was pretty cool. I took a look at it. I had Alex take a look at it so that I'm like, if we're going to do this, let's do this. And we've done it, and it's worked out pretty well so far. We've just got some little things to work out. And, I like that we have our names on the screen. I like that I can transmit this to multiple platforms. This is our first time we've ever been on Twitch. So I'm very excited about that. We ask you again, tell everybody you know about the show. Get everybody up and running, because it's the only way we're going to grow this thing. I think we can. It's safe to now say vocal is no longer a thing. So we're literally having to rebuild everything. So we wish everybody, our vocal friends, the best. We have no hard feelings at all. We get, business is a thing. So we need you guys to help us rebuild everything. Get them to subscribe to the channel on Twitch and on YouTube. Follow us on all the social medias, because this is how we're going to do this. I'm doing a lot more work on getting the website to be more active. We've already had, just because we're putting up the episodes there and we're putting up trailers there and everything, we've already had I think it was 118% month over month visits to the website. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you guys for going and checking out stuff on our website.
Big shout out. Thank you, Mike, for that one. He's definitely part of that.
And we appreciate that. We're going to try to get some new merch at some point. We've got to get that up and running, because we want you guys to be able to help us advertise. We've got the stickers, so if you see us, find us. We'll give you a decal. We're okay with it. Let's just do the plugs. Don should be back next week, but make sure that you check out our website, the aforementioned www.theclubhousepodcast.com. Find out some stuff you need to know and other stuff you don't. You can follow us on other social media. Twitter, while it's still a thing, is Clubhouse Show. Everything else is The Clubhouse Podcast. All three words in that order, you will wind up somewhere else. You can follow me on all your social medias. Everything is Yes, That Rob Irvin. It's right there. Your hands aren't even on the screen.
No. I'm trying to look around the camera. I am Vexploit on all social media. If you'd like to help out the show, please go to ProWrestlingTees.com and search for The Cheap Popcast or / The Cheap Popcast. We got a bunch of different shirt designs, a bunch of different color options within those designs, kind of layering it. If you have any designs that you'd like to contribute or any suggestions you'd like to make, you can reach out to me at alex@theclubhousepodcast.com. And once again, thank you so much for being here, Mike. We really appreciate you.
We've got 2 people watching, so I'm not sure who the other person is. So thank you to that.
Well,
person.
Mike is participating. That's the gist.
Oh, we have one person watching on Twitch too, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, nice.
You can follow me on all your social medias. Everything is Yes, That Rob Irvin. As I said earlier, you can send me an email, questions, comments, concerns. Tell me to go pound sand. I am Rob@theclubhousepodcast.com. Don Ford is the official fact checker of Sooner Gator Productions. You can follow him at Igbunu, IGBUNUUU on the Twitter. You can also email him if you would like us to come have this madness at your place. He is Don at theclubhousepodcast.com. I'm gonna put Mike's up there because I want people to see. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you very, very much, sir. Charla Marshall is on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to see that. Our normal show every Sunday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, is your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, and pop culture. So until next time, for Alex, for Don, for the Empire. Oh, we have emojis now, too. That's kind of cool. I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed. Brittany Palmer working UFC last night, and her art gallery did very, very well. She had a showing, and we're very, very proud of her. She'll see this someday. I know she will.